Sierra's new shed. Life in the countryside is always beautiful on the island of New Florida. Amtrak works hard on the tracks in the United States and New Florida while they get their work done. Many rolling stock includes Amfleet, Viewliner, Horizon, and Superliner, cause that is what Amtrak consists of. Women trains are important railroad vehicles because they carry lots of concept products to various places across a network. Because that's what makes them really useful indeed. Whenever trains are long, it's best to have more than one engine hitched together to make it easier to handle. Because that's what makes it really useful indeed. Because freight cars can sometimes be blank. Crossings across New Florida are important to all the engines and road vehicles. Because that's what makes them really useful indeed. Ember, the Element engine, was carrying a goods train to Plofsburg. She was being really useful. This is the longest train I've ever had, puffed Ember. Then there was trouble. One of the couplings came loose, and then it happened. The freight cars rolled away down the hill. Mr. Peister had a job for Sierra. A load of 3D printer filament has to be delivered to Oakwood today, he said. You must do it. Thank you, sir. But before she could finish, she looked behind, and a runaway train came into view and it rocketed behind her. Watch out! Here I come! Called Wade. Ember rocketed along the line and the freight cars clattered along, and then Wade caught up with Sierra and she bumped her buffers and she slowed the train down all the way to a standstill. This will make me get a new shed sometime. Then her driver and fireman noticed something. You're leaking brake fluid, he said. We must go to the works after we deliver our goods train. Then Ember came to collect the rest of the train. Thank you for helping me, said Wade. Sierra came into the goods yard and buffered up to 15 freight cars and steamed off. "This is the longest train I've ever had," she said. And it was. And then she turned the curve with all of her weight. And everything was going well as cars drove up and down of the roads, and then the gates began to come down. And Sierra steamed over with all of her weight. Then there was trouble. Her brakes stopped working completely. And then she was leaking. "Bust my buffers," she said. And then she began to go fast. "Oh no," she cried, "I can't stop!" Then she rocketed through the countryside. Just then, when she went over the crossing, it happened. She came off the rails, skidded through a farm field, and right into an old factory! A woman walked up and was furious. "Don't you ever dare crash into this building! You caused a serious accident! I'm gonna banish you from coming here again!" "I'm sorry," moaned Sierra. The woman named... And then a vehicle came to save the derailed freight cars, and it pulled Sierra and her wagons back onto the rails. A few minutes later, the woman engine was upset. "The woman who scolded you is sorry," she said. "My name is Michelle, and I'm sorry." "I'm sorry too," said Sierra. Even though Michelle was sorry for her friend, it would only be best to hope that nothing is repeated in the future.